Now, I'd like to correct something I said on my American privilege had privilege and no such thing as white privilege. I still agree with that, though I do agree to see more white people in neighborhoods where there's crime and less crime and more wealthier neighborhoods, but that has nothing to do with privilege. It just has to do with culture and how they're raised and how they work. But I'd like to correct something I said about the reservations in America. There are reservations in America. Some of the Native American reservations where they don't have electricity and water and all that. I don't know if they drive, but they do have reservations in America, Native American reservations, who they don't have running water. A lot of the houses don't have running water. A lot of the houses don't got electricity. I don't know about cars and all that. But I do see, and there are starving Americans, children and all that. There are Americans who are starving, even in the town I grew up in. A lady mentioned to me that there's starving children in Blair, Montana, who are white and Native American. So I like to make that correction. But in America, how many times do you see a child with a big belly and flies on its face and is starving like that bad? I haven't seen that in America. You get what I'm saying? And I, as a white American, feel like I can't be blamed for the things in the past that I wasn't here for, and that I got no advantage of it. And I face my own pressure. I don't drive. I was rejected from the military. I was in an adult group home, whatever. I call it the non-fail opportunity. I seen immigrants get better treatment than I do as an individual. And people say, well, you should feel bad for these people. Well, I feel bad for the ones who went through it, but I don't feel bad for the individuals who didn't go through it, especially the individuals of all groups have been like, oh, poor Phil, and laughing at me like he's a retard and all that. So why should I feel bad for those individuals? But I do believe American privilege. Now America is getting more divided in every single angle, religiously, genderally, racially, all that. Religiously, politically, genderly, sexuality, whatever you want to say. You can divide it, start to go backwards and fall apart. But America is still great. We still got a lot of freedoms. And I want to point this out. I was watching a video, and a black girl was saying that, did you know in any white country, there is no such thing as slavery? In America or Europe, there's no country that has slavery. But African countries, we got to remember, black people sold their own people to Europeans into slavery. And no, regardless of what people are saying, white people didn't practice cannibalism of eating the black slaves. So it was bad how they're treated, but black people sold their own people to slavery. Get what I'm saying? Black people sold their own people in slavery to Europeans and Muslims. So if you go to African countries, I don't know if it's legalized. I'm not saying that there's not underground slavery in America, but especially sex slaves. But you go to African countries and Middle Eastern countries, the non-white countries, you still see people practice slavery. They sell them in slave camps, they capture them and all that kind of stuff. I know in the Madians of Africa in Asia, when they go to Middle Eastern countries, they get cheated, they get raped, they get abused, they get their passports taken away. So you don't see that kind of stuff in America because America is privileged. Americans are privileged. But I wanted to correct myself on something I said. A lot of Native Americans don't have, but there's no such thing as slavery in Europe and all that. There's no such thing as slavery in America. I'm not saying there's not underground slavery. A lot of it's mostly sex slavery, and there is children slavery. But in America, we have privilege. There's no such thing as white privilege, but all Americans have privilege. The Native Americans don't have, a lot of the reservations don't got electricity and water. And I would deal with a racist cop who was Native American. I'm not saying he was racist, he could have been suspicious, but he made a comment towards me being white, and I'm like, dude, I'm a white person. How do you think that feel? Could have been cautious, since I dealt with cops and along all races. I've dealt with security guards of all races and genders, kind of being suspicious about me and all that. I'm used to it to the point I'm like, hey, I'm not doing anything wrong. Let them watch me. The cops come up to me, I give them my ID, I work with them. I don't say I know my rights and all that, because I do know my rights. And most times they just back off. But I want to correct that on my American privilege thing. But there is no saying about privilege, there is such an American privilege. You don't like America, you think it's racist, bigot, whatever you want to say about America, leave. If you think America's a bully, don't come. If you don't like America, just leave. I don't know why you're not leaving, because you know something. The country you go to, you're not going to have the same freedom and rights as here.